Good day, distinguished speakers, educators, and change makers. It is with great honor and excitement that I welcome you to this transformative intellectual exchange on the theme, critical thinking or conformity. What kind of learners are we really building? Today we gather not merely to discuss education, but to question its very soul. In a world where information travels faster than reflection, where students are taught to remember but not always to reason, we must pause and ask ourselves, are we nurturing thinkers or are we shaping followers? Education was never meant to be a system of silent obedience. It was meant to be a journey of discovery where learners develop the courage to ask why, the curiosity to explore how, and the wisdom to discern what truly matters. Yet somehow or somewhere along the way, compliance began to overshadow curiosity, and grace began to speak louder than today, as relationship across the globe, there is necessity. It is the heartbeat of innovation, the foundation of democracy, and the bridge between knowledge and wisdom. So let this session not just be another conversation. Let it be a call to action to educators, parents, leaders, and learners to rebuild classrooms where leaders and where ideas and debate are debated, not dictated, where minds are awakened, not merely instructed, and where out. So I want to welcome you once again to a day of reflection, reawakening, and renewal. Together, let us dare to rethink the kind of learners we are truly building. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining the session. And to start today's session, I want to call on our first speaker for today. We're going to follow it the way we came into the session today. So our first speaker for today is Ambassador Kamal Chandra Lohani, and he's going to be speaking on cultural heritage and the mind of the learner, balancing respect for tradition and critical thinking. The floor is yours, Ambassador.
Thank you. Am I audible, please?
Yes, you are audible. Yes,
Hello.
yes, you are audible.
Hello. Am I audible? Okay. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, sir,
Warm
you are audible.
greetings. Namaste and namaskar from India. And okay, happy Deepavali to everybody, each and everyone. These days we are celebrating Deepavali in India. So happy Deepavali to everybody and respected Gloria ma'am, our Rania ma'am, and our nice sir, and all the esteemed panelists and speakers present today. Well, my name is Kamal Chand Lohani. I am from Nainital, Uttarakhand, India. Uh, Thank you very much for giving me the attention and for listening to me. So today I have to speak on critical thinking or conformity and cultural heritage and the mind of the learner, balancing respect.
Oh, okay, I thought as much because his his network was really complete. It wasn't. So if it's with keep waiting, or let's just move on. Let us move on. I'm going to call on Ambassador Nahid to take over the floor. The floor is yours. When he comes back, we'll give him a chance after that. The floor is yours, sir.
My sincere gratitude to Gloria ma'am for giving us opportunity to speak on this outstanding platform. At the same time, I extend my sincere gratitude to Kamaloni sir, Rania ma'am, Yala ma'am, right, and Benita ma'am, and all the outstanding speakers. Today, I have got an opportunity to talk on cultivating creativity and independent thinking in traditional classrooms. Very good topic. So, cultivating creativity and independent thinking in traditional classroom requires reshaping teacher and student interaction and lesson designs to encourage exploration, expression, and ownership of ideas rather than passive learning. Research and best practices reveal that creativity and independence can thrive even within structured curriculums when educators shift from purely instructional method to guided discovery, creating a supportive environment, a safe, encouraging atmosphere where students feel valued and free from judgment is essential for creativity. Teachers can promote belonging, acceptance, and emotional safety, permitting students to take intellectual risks and share original ideas without fear of failure. Integrating creative tasks into curriculum. Creativity can be embedded across subjects through open ended projects, imaginative writing, problem solving games, and arts integration. Activities such as designing experiments, storytelling, dramatization, or creating visual models invite students to make unique connections and express understanding innovatively. Promoting open ended inquiry, encouraging questioning and possibility thinking transforms lessons from factual recall to creative inquiry, asking what if or how can this be applied differently. It spurs curiosity and deeper engagement with content. This technique invites multiple answers rather than one correct response, fostering flexible thinking. My other point, encouraging independent learning habits. Teachers can promote autonomy by prompting students to articulate their thought processes instead of supplying answers directly. Techniques like playing dumb means Socratic questioning. I always like Socratic questioning everywhere. Marketplace research activities and student led discussions shift responsibility for learning to students while nurturing critical thinking and confidence. Other point, project based and experiential learning. Project based learning helps students connect classroom concepts with real world problems By working on long-term projects or community challenges, students learn initiative, perseverance, and reflective decision making, core aspects of independent thought. When teachers act as facilitators rather than directors, students build ownership of both process and outcomes. Now, balancing structure and freedom. It is both of the things are required equally. Creativity in traditional classrooms flourishes through disciplined improvisation, where clear goals, structure, and assessment coexist with flexibility and exploration. So, with this thing, I finish my talk with again gratitude and submission to our CEO and founder. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much, Gloria ma'am.
Wow, exactly the time. Thank you very much, Ambassador Nahid. Ambassador Nahid's presentation boldly questions the rigidity of our classrooms. His words painted a vivid picture of education trapped in uniformity, where children are often rewarded for compliance instead of creativity. He reminded us that true learning happens when students are allowed to imagine, experiment, and even make mistakes. The question that echoed afterwards was powerful. Are we nurturing creativity, or are we unknowingly shifting it in the name of order? So thank you very much for this wonderful presentation, Ambassador Nahid. We appreciate you. Thank you. Oh, okay, so I'm going to be moving on to the next speaker on the list, Ambassador Miriam Salihu Suleiman. Ambassador Miriam, the floor is yours.
Okay. Good evening, Dr. Gloria. Good evening, everyone. So my topic, my topic for today's exchange is beyond memorization, encouraging reflective thinking in African classrooms. So, first of all, it's truly an honor to be part of this conversation. But let me start with an important question. Are students learning to think or just learning to remember? So in many African classrooms, success still means being able to repeat what the teacher said, word for word. We celebrate students who can recite definitions, but rarely reward those who ask why or how. Yet, reflective thinking begins with those two questions, why and how. Now, I'm going to start with the problem with memorization. Memorization might help a child pass exams, but it rarely prepares them for life. A student can tell you water boils at 100 degrees Celsius, yet this same student will not understand why altitude changes that temperature. Or a student in civic education can define corruption perfectly and still cheat in an exam. That is what happens when we teach for recall instead of for reflection. Now, what does reflective thinking look like? Reflective learning means connecting knowledge to real life. Instead of asking, what are the causes of climate change? Now you ask, how is climate change affecting farmers in our community and what can we do about it? The first question, which is what are the causes of climate change, tests memory, while the second question builds ownership, creativity, and empathy. Now, simple practical steps for teachers. First one, think, peer, share. After explaining a concept, give students a minute to think, discuss with a partner, and share their thoughts. It slows learning down and deepens understanding. Secondly, reflective journals. Ask them to write one line daily. What did I learn today? Or what confused me most? Now, let me give a local example. When teaching maths, using market situations like calculating profit from sales of tomato, this one makes abstract concepts come to life for the students. Encourage them to ask why questions. Let the students understand, let them challenge ideas respectfully. That is how thinkers are built. Not just take the ideas, but let them challenge these ideas. Now, beyond the classroom, parents and schools must also lift their mindsets. Instead of asking, what did you score? We should ask, what did you learn? When we praise effort, creativity, and curiosity, not just mark or not just the grades, children feel safe to think differently. Now, closing this, Africa doesn't lack bright minds. We have brilliance. What we need are classrooms that nurture this brilliance. Let's raise learners who don't just memorize facts, who do not just come and then give the teacher verbatim what the teacher has given them, who do not memorize everything the teacher has given them, but they can connect these things, they can question these things and create something out of the information they have learned. Because the future will not belong to those who remember answers, but to those who have the courage to ask the right questions. Now, the big question is, are we preparing these learners for exams or for life? This world is changing rapidly. Employers and society value creativity, problem solving, empathy, and adaptability. Our goal as teachers is to bridge school learning with real life skills, extending learning into real life contexts, focusing on skills, values, and attitudes, encouraging learners to connect knowledge to everyday situations, nurturing critical thinking, creativity, and collaboration. Because education is wholeness. We should teach education for wholeness, head, heart, and hands. Learners become more engaged when lessons are relevant to real life. Thank you.
Wow, amazing one. Thank you very much, Ambassador Miriam. Ambassador Miriam's message struck a powerful chord with every educator here. She unveiled how the culture of memorization has limited many African learners from engaging. Sorry about that. So her message is a call to reflection. Let's not encourage repetition. We should encourage children with critical thinking. So her call for reflection, not repetition, was a wake-up call to reimagine the African classroom as a space for dialogue, creativity, and purpose. She also made us to ask ourselves those questions. Are we teaching students to remember facts or to remember how to think and answer that fact, answer that question? Thank you very much, Ambassador Miriam, for that amazing presentation that you've just given to us. And I'm going to move back to Ambassador Kamal for his presentation. Mr. Kamal, please, you can take it from please.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. I was talking about critical thinking. It is not about being negative. It is about being curious and positive and careful. Whether you are choosing and what you are choosing, and what to believe and whom to trust and how to act, critical thinking gives you that control. And one who values thoughtful ones do not just accept what is easy, understand it, and analyze and then decide what to do. And as far as our culture heritage concerned, our culture heritage, our languages, our stories, our traditions, and our values shapes who we are and what we are. It connects us to our ancestors and our past and gives us a sense of identity and belonging. So to honor that heritage, to honor, the greatness that come before us, but the mind of a learner is curious, questioning, and open. And true learning does not be blindly. The true learning, does not blindly accept all these things. It seeks to understand. It asks, why do we do all these things in that way and this way, and what can we learn from others' cultures, and how can we honor the past while thinking towards the future? So, respecting traditions does not mean does not mean never challenging it. Means that listening it carefully and thinking deeply and asking questions, not to tear down, but to build wisely. So, as a learner, let us carry our heritage with pride, and let us carry the courage to question, explore, and grow. And future belongs not just to those who remember, but to those who remember thoughtfully. This is my opinion about this topic, ma'am. Thank you very much for giving me the chance. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Kamal. And Ambassador Kamal's thought-provoking reflection drew attention to the delicate balance between cultural respect and intellectual freedom of a child, of a learner. He beautifully emphasized the traditions, that tradition should be bridges, not barriers to progress. And his words encourage us to see culture as a living guide that can coexist with modern curiosity. So that means children should always be encouraged to be curious, to ask questions, and to be creative. Thank you very much, Ambassador Kamal, for that amazing presentation.
Thank you, ma'am. Salute to you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ma'am. Thank you very much.
I'm going to be moving on to the next speaker for today, Dr. Binita Prakash. Dr. Binita, the floor is yours. Dr. Binita? All right, in her absence, I'm going to be calling on Ambassador Jonathan Lesson on Nielsen to take over the floor. Mr. Jonathan, the floor is yours.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Good evening. In respect of time wherever we are. Greetings to the CEO of A Walkthrough Education. The topic given to me is educational leadership in the 21st century, shaping systems that value critical thinking. So I want to look at how educational leadership in this 21st century can shape systems that value critical thinking. I will start by saying educational leadership in the 21st century must shift from traditional models to student-centered and transformational leadership to cultivate systems that value critical thinking by fostering environments that encourage creativity, problem-solving, and innovation. This involves implementing innovative teaching and assessment methods like project-based learning and prioritizing professional development for educators to align curricula with the evolving demands of the modern world. By doing so, leaders can ensure students develop the necessary 21st century skills and resilience to tackle complex and global challenges. Now, very quickly, I would like to talk about the key strategies for this educational leadership. We have, number one, adopt a transformational leadership approach. How can we adopt a transformational leadership approach? We need to motivate teachers and staff by articulating a compelling vision, encouraging innovations, and supporting risk-taking to foster a culture of empowerment and excellence. Another key strategy for educational leader is implement innovative pedagogy. Implement innovative pedagogy. How do we go about this? We need to move away from rote learning by integrating project-based learning, inquiry-based approaches, and other pedagogical activities that encourage critical thinking, communication, and collaboration with creativity. Another key strategies for educational strategies is prioritize 21st century skills. How can we prioritize 21st century skills in our leaders? We need to ensure curricula are aligned with the demands of the modern workforce by focusing on developing skills like critical thinking, communication, collaboration, and adaptability. So this prepares students for future success in both their careers and civic lives. Another key strategy for educational leaders is champion a student-centered model. Student-centered model, unlike our traditional way of teaching, so we need to shift from a one-size-fits-all approach to a personalized and inclusive model that is responsive to the diverse needs, backgrounds, and learning styles of students. Then lastly on that, we need to embrace technology and innovation. That's another key strategy. Embracing technology and innovation. How do we go about this? We need to leverage technology to enhance learning and stay ahead of trends, ensuring the educational system remains relevant and effective in a rapidly changing world. Lastly, on that note, we have to invest in personal development. Key strategies to educational leaders. We should invest in professional development. Support educators by investing in their skills and providing them with the training and resources needed to implement new teaching and assessment method. With all these aforementioned points, I think educational leaders in this 21st century can be able to shape systems that value critical thinking. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Sorry, I forgot that I was muted. Sorry about that. So, Ambassador Jonathan's presentation was a powerful exploration of leadership as the cornerstone of transformation. He spotlighted how visionary leaders can create systems where questioning is celebrated and innovation is institutionalized. So his words were both inspiring and convicting. Until our teachers and leaders think critically, our learners will never think critically. So his presentation pushed us to reflect on this. Are our educational policies designed to nurture thinkers or to maintain control? Thank you very much, Ambassador Jonathan, for this amazing presentation. We appreciate you. And moving
Thank
on,
you, ma'am.
you're welcome. I'm going to be calling on Dr. Rania Lampo to take over the virtual floor. The floor is yours, Dr. Rania.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Today I learned that in India they celebrate Diwali, Happy Diwali, and I learned that they have 2 weeks of vacation.
Honestly,
No, I'm very jealous, but I never, in my whole life, I never had 2 weeks of vacation. Never.
Oh my. Please, Dr.
Thank you,
Rania,
madam.
you need it. You need it. You need,
Yes,
Thank you,
yes.
madam.
I'll come
Thank you.
and pull you out of Greece.
Thank you for your greeting to Indians, Deepavali greetings. Thank you very much.
And I want to share also a bad news from Greece here that recently our minister put forward a new law that actually allows to private sector to institutionalize 13 hours per day for work. And this was a ridiculization around the world. They say that it's one European country who now has workers, so 13 hours work every day. This is very, very sad because we're working a lot here. Many times I'm leaving night from the ministry and the salaries are very, very low. So it's very, very tragic.
Yes.
Anyway, so if you see the news, you will realize what is
I'm going,
happening.
I'll search for that and just be
Yes,
prepared.
yes.
I'm going to pull you out of grid very soon.
Yes, yes. Even in Africa, there was news in Zimbabwe. It was the first news in the newspapers about Greece in Africa.
Mm.
That's why I'm telling you
No,
to
I'll
search
search.
about this.
Oh,
Maybe we're moving towards a new form of slavery, work slavery.
okay.
But on one more hand, we say that AI help us from liberating our time and these things like that. But I think that's happening the opposite, despite AI. Anyway, let's see. Let's see. So my topic today will focus on STEM and critical thinking. Critical thinking is already associated very closely with STEM education because all these disciplines of science, technology, engineering, mathematics offer, on one hand, vocational pathways, of course, in academic specialism, but they also provide the means to engage with real-world problems, to foster inquiry, develop a mindset of exploration. And according to educational resources, one of the core benefits of STEM is the way it encourages students to think critically, to analyze complex problems, and develop innovative solutions. So STEM education serves as the cornerstone of innovation, of progress, and global competitiveness in today's world. And the challenge is no longer simply learning formulas or facts, but about using those formulas in order to understand, adapt to, and shape the world. So critical thinking, already previous speaker mentioned, I think Dr. Naid said about the Socratic method, which is this ability to analyze information, to evaluate evidence. In the context of STEM education, critical thinking becomes the linchpin which transforms content knowledge into applied, reflective, and innovative practice. So, for example, when students engage in inquiry-based or project-based STEM work, they don't simply apply formula. They pose hypotheses, they test, they iterate, and reflect on results. And recent research shows that integrating project-based STEM approaches improves students' critical thinking skills significantly compared to conventional teaching. Many studies highlight that STEM programs led to significantly higher critical thinking among high school students compared to non-STEM tracks. So all the evidence show this, that STEM education provides a fertile ground for critical thinking, enabling students to shift from passive recipients of knowledge to active investigators and solution builders. So why this is synergy especially important now? Because of the technological acceleration, the AI, the data science, the renewable energy, all require people who can think critically about what the technology does, how the technology should be used, and what implication it has. Second, because we have so many complex interconnected problems, climate change, public health, the ethics of technology, and learners need agility to ask the right questions, to evaluate evidence, to test assumptions, and to adjust to new information. At the same time, we have a changing workplace. I was mentioning this before. A different life demands. The jobs of the future may not resemble today. So the ability to learn, unlearn, and think flexibly becomes as important as any other specific technical skills. And critical thinking, of course, fosters this adaptability. And apart from this, talk about the information overload now and misinformation, being able to evaluate sources, reason about evidence, distinguish credible from critical claims. These are important critical thinking skills that are increasingly essential in this media-rich world. This week also, Ministry of Education introduced a new pilot subject. It will be implemented in some pilot schools here, model schools, which concern fake news. And this information, misinformation. And I thought of you, Dr. Gloria, because this is what you are doing with students. Now it's a new subject which is integrated, and we want to see how this will work on a level of schools on a pilot basis. So why this is important, what this means for educators and learners, this has to do with inquiry-based and project-based learning, how we can design tasks where learners pose questions, experiment, iterate, reflect, the real-world relevance, of course, of tasks, collaboration, reflection, the continuous professional development, the equity and inclusivity. And on the other hand, of course, there are the challenges of implementation gap. The potential of STEM is well recognized, but actual implementation lags. This has to do with teacher readiness, with how we can assess the critical thinking. Critical thinking is hard to assess, how to evaluate. And finally, the misalignment with curricula, the resource constraint. Finally, I want to say that promoting STEM education fused with intentional development of critical thinking offers a powerful route to empower learners for the unpredictability and the complexity of the 21st century. Thank you very much for attention and patience. Happy Diwali again to all.
Thank you very much.
Happy vacation.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you very much, Dr. Rania, for that wonderful message. And also, it's really unfortunate about what is happening there in Greece. God knows why. Let's see how it unfolds. God will help you all.
Yes, I forgot to mention that in some countries, think Sweden, they have already institutionalized the opposite, 4 days per week. I mean, there are countries in Europe that promote less hours of work, but in Greece, happening the opposite. We increase the hours of work. So, you know, in Europe, this is not happening because we should have uniformity in terms of policies and things like that. But this is not happening. There's no uniformity.
It's
Anyway,
I feel is because of the kind of leader you have right now. So I believe that once the leader, or maybe a change of leadership can change
leadership
the
and
situation. Yeah.
business profits and the private sector, it's behind this. Understand the interest of private sector. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So Dr. Rania's presentation was timely and is a reminder that STEM is not just about science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. It's about cultivating a mindset of inquiry and innovation. And she left us pondering, are we truly preparing our learners to think, adapt, and lead in an unpredictable world, just as it is in her country? God help us. Thank you very much, Dr. Rania. God bless you. And I'm going to be moving on to the next speaker for today, Ambassador Vanessa Sesi from Cote d'Ivoire. The floor is yours. You're muted. Unmute yourself.
You muted me. Oh, you muted me. Anyway,
Really?
don't
Oh,
worry.
okay. So sorry about that.
Don't worry.
Maybe
Greetings,
I
everyone.
muted everybody.
Yeah, that was when you muted everyone. That was when you muted. Okay, warm greetings to everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're hearing my voice. And delegates, I want to say it's been fantastic so far. My topic that our phantasmagoric CEO gave to me is Youth Voices in Education, inspiring learners to question, create, and lead. When I looked at this topic, I was like, geez. In Africa, where culture tells us that when an elder person is speaking to you, your hand should be at your back and you should put your head down. You are telling a student to be critical thinkers, to be creative thinkers, etc. It's like looking for the fish or looking for the seaport at the airport, but it is not impossible. Like those who have spoken before, we are in an age and world whereby change has happened, and it's like change is changing in itself. And I believe we are being encouraged to flow with the change. First of all, before we start to create youth voices in education, I want to ask ourselves, we as teachers, honestly, are we critical thinkers ourselves? Because we provide and we produce our kind in the classroom. If we look at our set of teachers in the secondary school, the university we find ourselves in, you will realize that not all teachers, not all professors, with all due respect, are critical thinkers as we are encouraging our young or the youth to be critical thinkers. How can you ask somebody to be something that you are not? You see, such a topic is very delicate and very sensitive and very important, because when you are a lecturer in a classroom, I want to take myself as an example. I go to class, I tell my students every time, tell me how you understand the subject. They are looking at me like I'm a stranger speaking to them. From the word go, I've always encouraged my students to explain to me in their words what they understand by the subject. It's always a tag, it's always a trouble, because for them, they want to memorize. Like one of our speakers said, they don't want to reflect. In fact, our students are lazy in thinking. So the challenge now is, we as teachers, we need to put ourselves in that place where we question the question that we are asking our students, and we get the answer to the question even before we ask them. That is, we ourselves should be critical thinkers, and then we can generate critical thinking in our youth. Schools should involve the youth in the curriculum development. Find a way to bring out suggestion boxes, ideas from the youth. We should not think that the youth don't have anything in their mind. They have. When you value the youth, when you add value to your students, they will realize you add value to them and they want to give back to you. So in an attempt to help our learners to question the questions, to be creative, critical thinkers, and have the ability to influence rightly and positively, we need to ask ourselves as teachers, what approach are we using? In my classroom, or as a lecturer in management or entrepreneurship or leadership, I may think that experiential learning or project-based learning is okay. You who are in the science sector or history, geography, let us be versatile in our approach, so that as we use approaches that are relevant to our classroom, we can trigger that reflective learning, we can trigger that creative thinking, and in the end, produce a youth who are eager to lead, bring change, and lead in this dynamic world. Thank you so much for always giving me the platform to express myself vanessically. Thank you.
Yeah, Vanessa Kali. I love that. Thank you very much. Ambassador Vanessa's presentation and a passionate appeal for education system to listen to the voice of the youth that we serve. She reminded us that young people are not just future, they are the now, not the future, they are the now. So her insight on empowering students to question norms, express ideas, and lead innovation ignited hope in what a student-centered education could look like. So thank you very much, Ambassador Vanessa, for this amazing presentation. We appreciate you. God bless you. And I'm going to be moving on to the next speaker for today, Professor Mohamed El-Zek from Morocco. The floor is yours, Professor Mohamed. Professor El-Zek, are you there? Okay, I'm going to move on.
Ma'am, please call me. Ma'am, please call me Dr. Benita Prakash.
Okay, I called you earlier, right? Okay, the floor is yours, Dr. Benita.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Good evening, one and all. And thank you, Gloria, ma'am. And and to all a very happy Deepavali. And today is Annakut or Govardhan Puja. To happy Govardhan Puja to all of you. My topic is question everything. How inquiry-based learning builds lifelong thinkers. To answer this, judge a man by his questions rather than by his answers, said Voltaire. This timeless quote reminds us that the real mark of intelligence is curiosity, the ability to ask not just to know, the ability to ask not just to know. In today's rapidly changing world, where information is just a click away, what truly matters is not what students know, but how they think. This is where inquiry-based learning becomes a transformative approach. At its heart, inquiry-based learning encourages students to question, investigate, reflect, and construct their own understanding. Instead of passively receiving facts, learners become explorers, formulating questions, seeking evidence, and developing conclusions grounded in reasoning. Imagine a classroom where a lesson on water scarcity began not with a textbook definition but with a question. Why do some regions face drought while others have floods? Suddenly, geography, science, and social awareness blend together. Students research, analyze data, propose solutions, and most importantly, they think beyond the classroom walls. Inquiry-based learning transforms teachers into facilitators of curiosity rather than dispensers of information. It allows students to take ownership of their learning journey, fostering critical thinking, creativity, and problem solving, skills essentials for the 21st century. Moreover, when learners are encouraged to ask why and what if, they cultivate habits of lifelong inquiry. They not longer accept things at face value, but evaluate ideas through evidence and reflection. This mindset nurtures independent thinkers, capable of adapting to the evolving challenges of society. For teachers, the shift to inquiry-based learning is also a call for reflection. It invites us to create learning spaces where mistakes are stepping stones. Curiosity is celebrated, and every question, however small, opens a door to deeper understanding. In essence, inquiry-based learning doesn't just teach subjects, it teaches students how to think. It replaces rote memorization with reasoning, obedience with curiosity, and silence with meaningful dialogue. So, let us empower our students not merely to find the right answers, but to ask the right questions. For it is questioning that ignites the lifelong flame of learning. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Vinita Prakash, for that amazing presentation. Your presentation was a bold reminder that question, not answer, are the true heartbeat of learning. You've challenged educators to replace the fear of I don't know with the curiosity of I want to find out. And your insights redefined the teacher's role as a guide rather than a giver of knowledge. So thank you very much for this amazing presentation. We appreciate you and happy Diwali to you. And I'm going to be calling on our next speaker for
So much.
today. You're welcome. All right, is Professor Mohammed El Zek around? I can see him here, but he's okay. I'm moving on to Ambassador Gayatri. Mr. Gayatri, the floor is yours.
Okay, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am. I am audible.
Yes, I can hear you. I believe I can hear you.
Good evening, Gloria ma'am, Rania ma'am, Salis sir, Nahi sir, Kamaloni sir, and all of you. My today topic is the silent curriculum, how conformity shapes the learner's mind without words, and theme critical thinking or conformity. Ma'am, critical thinking means thinking for yourself, questioning ideas and making decision based on reason and evidence. While conformity means following others to group opinions without independent thoughts. The silent curriculum refers to the unspoken lessons students learn in school, not from textbooks or teachers' lectures, but from the environment, expectation, and social norms around them. Equality teachers learners how to behave, think, and belong. Conformity plays a major role in the hidden process. Without words, students often learn that following rules, obeying authority, and fitting in are more valued and than questioning or and creativity. For examples, when students who challenge idea the discouraged, they learn to stay silent when unformity in reward individual fits. Our over time, silent pressure shapes mind. Alike supports doubts and avoid risk, producing obedient learners rather than independent thinkers. Uh, in sense, the silent curriculum does not speak at a powerfully teachers conformity thoughts the culture and climate or schooling. I believe that we should make every child think and express his own thoughts, so that the child can express his views before the society without any fear, because every child is unique. Thank you so much, ma'am, and happy Diwali, all of you.
Happy Diwali.
Yep.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Gayatri.
And we have just, ma'am, we have just celebrated Diwali. Now Chhat, the grand festival of worship the sun, will be celebrated for 3 days from Saturday to Tuesday. Those who fast in the without water and greatness of our country in India.
Nice.
Saturday to
Okay. I can see you guys in India, you love celebrations a lot, and so many festivals, because I can count how many festivals you've celebrated
this festival
this year.
called
It's really
Chhat
awesome.
Puja.
Okay, Puja.
Chhat
I
Puja.
think I've heard about that. Nice one, nice one. Congratulations to you all and happy celebration. Thank you, Ambassador Gayatri, for
Thank you
your
so much,
amazing
ma'am, for
presentation.
giving me this wonderful opportunity. Thank you so much, ma'am.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, just to summarize what you've just said today, she exposed what most educators overlook, the lessons students learn that are never taught. Through her exploration of the hidden curriculum, she revealed how attitude, routines, and classroom expectations silently condition learners to conform. So her message was haunting yet hopeful. Even when we say nothing, we are still teaching something. But what exactly are our classrooms whispering to our students without even saying a word? Thank you very much, Ambassador Gayatri, for that amazing presentation. We appreciate you. And I'm going to move on to the next speaker for today. Well, I'm sorry to explain to you. I want to let you all know, please, we are following it the way we came in, because there are a lot of people that are that are having a festival today, and they had to come in early to present. So please bear with me if I follow it the way we came in. That's why I arranged the screen this way. So I think we all have the same screen. So we are following it the way it is. So I'm going to be calling on Ambassador Lagmani Kumari to take over the floor. Ambassador Lagmani, the floor is yours.
Good evening, everyone. Good respected Goloria ma'am and Rania ma'am, Saleh sir, Adri ma'am, Navneet Pandey sir, Leila ma'am, Rambabu sir, Yala ma'am, Osama sir, and everyone sir. Today I want to talk about education for freedom, moving from obedience to ownership in learning. For too long, education has focused on obedience, following instructions, memorizing fact, and aiming for grades, while structure in important true learning happens when a student takes ownership of the education. Ownership means curiosity, critical thinking, and the courage to explore beyond what is taught. It's about empowering learning to ask questions, make mistakes, and grow independently. As education, our role is not just to give answers but to guide students in discovering their own when learning becomes a choice rather than the compound freedom to thinking, creating, and lead their ownership journey. Let us strive to creating classroom where students are not merely evident but proud owners of their learning because education to when true efficiency. Thank you. My classroom is a TLM project-based learning in the successful dancing, music, and activity and yoga. Just learning for classmate active, fast reading and music. My classroom TM best progress. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ambassador Lagmani, for that presentation. Yeah, Ambassador Lagmani's presentation set the conscience of every education and every educator, sorry. She exposed the quiet danger of systems that prioritize obedience over originality. And her call was not just for rebellion, but for responsible freedom, the kind that allows learners to own their voices, their choices, and their growth. And her question peers through every traditional mindset, and it goes, do we want well-behaved learners or free thinkers who can change the world? This is the question I derived from her presentation. Thank you very much, Ambassador Lagvani, for this amazing presentation. And I want to move on to the next speaker for today, Ambassador Shailesh Prajapati. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Namaste from India, and I am from the land of Mahatma Gandhi, Gujarat. And my question is rethinking classroom culture, how to nurture independent thought within a collaborate spaces. And I am thankful to you and very lucky to have a nice question. And especially thanks to Team AWTE and my team India. And warm welcome to joining for the first time. Congratulations. I would like to start with my topic. This topic, it requires a deliberate balance of providing anatomy and structure. Both aspect is more important, and it provides the psychological safe environment to the students. I used the word scientific and psychological safe environment, and it also helps the scientific technique for the students. So they can join with us in a dialogue, open discussion, group discussion, very freely and frankly without fear. I would like to note one thing: even student passed the grade 12, when the beginning of the exam, he or she always searching the importance essay in the exam, because they haven't provided any chance to think freely, think critically. This is the lack of our atmosphere in classroom. We haven't tried for thinking openly. So student always ask and search for important essays in the exam. We can establish the psychological safety for the student, because students have fear about the result, fear about joining, fear about success or not success, failure. So we can remove the psychological fear in the classroom with the help of this technique. We can provide the chances. We inspire them, let them think, let them talk, let them join in a project, share views, joining in action research. They can join and share very freely their belief, their concept, their views, their ideas, their examples. They can share easily, freely. So we can remove their psychological fear. Even a teacher also fear when he says say something about Independence Day, Republic Day, about Raksha Bandhan, about Christmas. They only hardly speak 3 or 4 sentences. They have always fear if they make mistake, if they say something wrong. That is psychological fear, and we can remove them. And they can take part easily. They can think freely. They can talk openly. They can join in a program, project. So it is the great remedy to remove the psychological fear, and we can make them more attentive to listen. As Kamal sir says something about it, if they have a good listening power, listening skill is powerful, then he has more interest in our activities. But they have lack of attentive or less power of listening. They have hardly get success. So I always like to say that they should be attentive. They have a listening skill powerful. We can provide them opportunity. In our school, we hardly give chance to all the students in a sports, arts, culture, drawing competition. Always we select some students whether we like or favorable. But when we give opportunity to all students, they feel and join, share their views and ideas, and one day they have no psychological fear. We can give them best example around the atmosphere, around the society, around the state, district, world. We can give them best example. Whenever I go to teacher training, I always refer the best example of Francis Bacon for writing skill. For listening skill, I always say about Helen Keller and her teacher. And about maths, I always say Lal Bahadur Shastri and his teacher. And when the psychological fear, I always refer APJ Abdul Kalam and Iyengar sir. To give them best example to remove psychological fear and develop the critical thinking, and one day they have good command over. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Shailesh. Your perspective beautifully balanced individuality with collaboration. And you argued that true team does not erase personal thoughts, but it amplifies it. And your reflection reminds us that educators, that it reminds educators that harmony in learning should not come at the cost of originality. Thank you very much. Thank you. We appreciate your presentation, Ambassador Shailesh. And I'm going to be calling on Dr. Sarika Kumari to take over the floor.
Good evening, and good evening to all of you.
Good evening.
My today topic is hello.
Hello, we can hear you.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, 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 yes. You are.
Yes, you are.
Encouraging critical thinking in early childhood education. First of all, it's truly an honor to speak on this beautiful and meaningful theme, critical thinking or conformity. What kind of learners are we really building? Dear educators, every morning we walk into our classroom with hope to shape young minds to build the foundation of tomorrow. But somewhere in our journey, we begin teaching children what to think instead of how to think. We ask them to follow instruction, memorize lines, and give perfect answers, but we forgot to let them question, wonder, and dream. It's the time to rewrite the rules. Critical thinking doesn't start the college, it begins in childhood. When a child asks why the stars twinkle, why rules exist, so that innocent why is not curiosity. Abhishek, it's the voice of curiosity that's innocent, and our job as educator is not to silence that voice, but to listen, instruct, and celebrate it. In my classroom, I have seen magic happen when children are waste. Sorry, when children are designed twice from waste. Imagine fearless really means. Debate what fearless really means. They begin to see learning not as repetition, but as creation. That is the seed of critical thinking. When a child learns to see beyond that obvious, to question, to reason, and to reflect. If we continue to reward only obedience, we will raise followers. But if we encourage curiosity, courage, and creativity, we will raise thinkers, inventors, and leaders. Let us, the teachers and lecturers, be the first to break the wall of conformity. Let us create classroom where questions are welcomed, mistakes and lessons and imagination has no limits. Because my dear fellow educators, education is not about filling minds, it's about opening hearts and awakening thought. The future will not belong to those who memorized all the answers. It will belong to those who dare to ask new questions. So together, let us rewrite the rules and raise a generation that doesn't just learn, but thinks, feels, and transforms the world. Thank you, everyone, and heartfelt gratitude to the Gloria man and all speakers to giving me a chance, give me this wonderful opportunity to share my vision on this international platform. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sarika, for that amazing presentation. Dr. Sarika's presentation reminded us that the foundations of critical thinking are laid long before formal schoolings begin. And with gentle,
Yes.
yeah, did you say something? Oh, okay, okay. Sorry about that. So, with her gentle and yet powerful perspective, she challenged the notion that young children are too young to reason, reflect, or challenge ideas. Her insight revealed that curiosity is the purest form of critical thought. Thank you very much, Dr. Sarika, for that amazing presentation. And I'm going to be calling on Ambassador Tracy Onu to take over the floor. Mr. Tracy, the floor is yours. You're muted.
May I?
Muted. Tracy, you're muted.
Ma'am, may I?
Okay, sorry. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Gloria, for this opportunity. I'm glad to share my ideas with great minds again. I've been listening to the discussions and it's really an enriching one. Thank you so much for this opportunity. We know that we are in the 21st century right now. And of course, everything is tilted towards critical thinking. Yes. Now, we are at an age where there's so much release of information. Just at the tap of a finger on your screen, you are exposed to 1,001 information. And that's what our children are exposed to. Our students, they have it at their fingertips. They have access to content creators. They have access to voices that have different opinions, different views. You know, there's so much at their disposal. Now, their ability to sieve this information, their ability to actually know what they need goes a long way. And this brings us to our topic, and that is empowering the next generation. That is fostering independent thinkers in a digital world. Fostering independent thinkers in a digital world. Like I said, we are indeed in a digital world right now. Every educator, has the responsibility of shaping young minds. We need to introduce them to digital literacy and the rules that govern digital literacy, so that whenever they are exposed to these tools, they don't get carried away. Rather than seeing it as a means to an end, that's what most students see it. They have assessments, they just go to ChatGPT. They don't even think, they don't give themselves, that ample, even if it's 5 minutes to brainstorm, to think. They just go there, download the answers, impute it on their script, and they submit. So there's just no time to think. And right now, critical thinking skills is one of the most sought after skills. You agree with me with that? It's one of the most sought after skills. Nobody wants to employ someone who will be there just getting answers from the internet, You just copy and paste. They want to see how well you are able to analyze information. When we talk about analyzing information, we're talking about examining it, questioning it. It's not just about the what, it's about the how and the why. How do I get there? How does it affect me? All of this is what we need to impute into our children. Now, let me give you a practical example. I was taking my maths class last week and in my school as a mathematics educator, and I introduced the formula pi to them. I wrote it on the board and I tried to make them see reasons why this is what we must apply when trying to solve. Maybe you want to find the area of a circle and all of that. And the funny thing, a student asked a question. She rose her hands up and I asked, I wondered. And she said to me, why must it always be pi? It was quite funny, but I appreciated that question. She said, must it always be 22/7? And I had to bring her to the level to understand that this is a standard fixed rule, and I had to explain how we got it. I told her that first and foremost, we have to measure the circumference of the circle. And then we divide that circumference by the diameter of the circle. It doesn't matter whatever the circumference of the shape may be. Hello, can you hear me, please? Hello, are we together, please? Hello?
Yes. Sorry about that.
All right, okay, okay, thank you so much. We must divide the circumference of the shape, that's of the circle, by its diameter. And if you do that, you will obviously get 3.14, which is equivalent to 22/7. So, this is what we talk about about critical thinking skills. I'm talking from Nigeria here. And, it saddens my heart that currently in our system, mathematics has been scrapped out for art students by the Federal Ministry of Education. So by implication, the Nigerian government is trying to say that critical thinking skills is going to be on the decline. And you can imagine what that means. This is what technological development is based upon. So if that is scrapped out, how will our next generation become? So I wouldn't want to go into so much, but one thing is clear. We must teach our students to think critically. They must examine issues. They must ask themselves questions. They must be guided. They must have informed decisions. Yes, informed decisions enables them to consider the pros and the cons before deciding on an issue. So this is a call to all of us as educators. We mustn't just lead these students to that knowledge. No, we must direct them. We must teach them. We must train them on how to get the best from the digital space. Thank you so much, Mrs. Gloria. I appreciate. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Tracy. Ambassador Tracy's presentation shed light on one of the greatest paradoxes of our time. A generation more connected than ever, yet often less reflective. She challenged educators to guide young people.
Thank you very much, teacher.
Please, could you mute yourself? Sorry. She challenged educators to guide young people not just to use technology, but to question it. Her insight reminds us that digital literacy without critical thought and critical thinking leads to dependency and empowerment, not empowerment, sorry. So the question she left us with was just both urgent and timeless. In a world of endless information, do our learners still know how to think for themselves, or do they depend on the internet, like ChatGPT, for example? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And I want to move over to the next speaker for today, Professor Laila Taik. The floor is yours, Professor Laila.
Hello, good evening. How are you? I hope you are doing well.
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes,
Is my voice?
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So my topic today is about nurturing independent minds, and defining education for authentic thinking and lifelong learning. We are a good example about this. The very core theme of this topic, which is we are now through this meeting and this gathering under the walkthrough education series of webinars. We are also defining education, and also we do the lifelong learning. Let me start with the idea of the traditional focused on just memorization, conformity, and standardized, just standardized ways of learning.
Hello, I can't hear her. All right, while we wait for Professor Laila to join us back, I guess her network is bad. Please, could you all turn on your cameras? Let's take our pictures before we continue.
Yeah.
Please turn on your
Yeah, sorry, it was cut. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Hello?
We couldn't hear you at some point, so we decided to
Yeah.
just have a break. Okay, you can continue after Professor Laila's presentation. We'll take a picture before we move on.
Okay, thank you. It's due my connectivity. I'm sorry. So I remind you of my topic, which is rethinking the independent minds, redefining education for authentic thinking and lifelong learning. So as I told you that the idea of traditional education was focusing just on memorization and if someone my echoes. Mike, please. Yeah. But today we live in kind of demand that we need something different. We call for thinkers, even critical thinkers, creators, and also problem solvers, learners who can question, analyze, and also make meaning for themselves. As my previous colleague, the math teacher, that I like her ideas, yes. And nurturing independent minds means shifting from students of what to think to guiding them to how to think. So it's about cultivating curiosity first place and encouraging reflection and allowing learners to make connections between knowledge and real life experiences, situations of real life. When students take ownership of their learning, education becomes not just a process, but a journey of discovery. Authentic thinking grows of course, starts in the classrooms where we generate dialogues, we work on dialogues that replaces dictation, or also mistakes are soon becomes like an opportunity to learn. Because through mistakes, learners start to question why I did that wrong. And mistakes is where learners are trusted to kind of discover, to explore. And teachers in this vision are not just transmitters, just I transmit, as a teacher, I transmit knowledge, but mentors, facilitators here, because, and at the same time, I believe that here the teacher becomes also a critical thinker, because the mistake that is generated by the learner, it is unique to that student. So it makes us, like, as teachers, we generate another new thinking, another discovery, how we are going to solve or think with that student, how to solve that unique mistake. So we are teachers now becomes ourselves critical thinkers, mentors. And what about lifelong learning? Yes, the idea of lifelong learning, it is like a beautiful continuation of that kind of discovery and curiosity beyond the classroom. It's to imagine the real life situations, like in the airport, where what do you do when you are traveling, or when you are in a kind of an administration, or some conversations that happen in real life. So redefining this education for authentic thinking and lifelong learning is not like it's not a prestige. It's not just a luxury. It is now a necessity. In doing so, we prepare students for jobs, for humans for future individuals who can just adapt, innovate, and create and problem solve to more thoughtful and compassionate and sustainable world. They are now, we talk about global citizens that can generate their own ideas because the world now is changing. Here, my colleague talked about AI, how they can just copy and paste and they put the idea. So yeah, so now we are in the need of that sense of critical thinking mind for long life learning. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Laila, for that amazing presentation. It is really a thought-provoking one. And she emphasized that authentic education is not about producing high achievers, but deep thinkers, individuals who learn, unlearn, and relearn through life. Her call for authenticity in learning urged educators to value deep over display, as in going into depth. And the thought she left us with today is education should not shape students to fit to the world. It should equip them to reshape it, as in to reshape the world. The students should reshape the world, not to fit in the world the way they find it. Thank you very much, Professor Laila, for that thought-provoking presentation. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. And I'm going to be, okay, please, could you all turn on your cameras? Let's just quickly take a picture. Let's take a photo shoot before we continue. Just like a comic, let's have a relief before we continue. Turn on your camera, please. Don't worry, we're all going to present. We are almost done. We're almost done. Probably about 5 to 6. 5 to 6. Of your let's echoing. All right, let's
Hello, teacher. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm very well, thank you. Speak towards the end.
I am Parvana. I am from Azerbaijan.
Yes, I'm going to... It's okay. It's okay. Yeah. We'll be giving Parvana the opportunity to speak at the end of the session. All right. So could you all turn on your cameras? Let's take our pictures. Please turn on your cameras. Dr. Rania, where are you? Dr. Rania. Don't want to miss
Hello. My name is Parvana.
Okay, thank you.
My name is Parvana. Thank you. I am an English teacher.
Okay, good to
I love you very much. I love you very much. I kiss you.
We love you too. Thank you.
Glad to see you.
Same here.
I would like to open connect with you.
All right. We're already.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, please let's take our pictures after the count of 5. Let's use our favorite emoji. Let's use our favorite emoji. So after the count of 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go. All right, thank you very much. All right, so we're going to move on to our next speaker for today. Our next speaker for today is Ambassador Nalam Acheta Ramachandra. The floor is yours, sir.
Yes, good evening, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am. Is it my voice is audible, ma'am?
Yes, you're audible. You're audible. We can hear you.
Ma'am?
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Okay. Good evening, ma'am. Today's my topic is ethics, empathy, and enlightenment, ma'am. In my culture or in my Sanatan Dharma, these 3 are Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. Brahma is the generator, Vishnu is the organizer, and Maheshwara is the destroyer. So G-O-D, God. These 3 are very important, ma'am. Outstanding topic is given to me, ma'am, today. It is very useful topic, ma'am. These three words may sound big, but they guide how we learn and live. They help us become thoughtful, responsible, and aware human beings. A critical minded learner is not only smart but also kind and wise. What is the meaning of ethics? Ethics means knowing the difference between right and wrong. If teachers teaches us honesty and fairness and respect for others, ethical learners take responsibility for their actions. They make decisions to help others and not just themselves. The role of ethics in learning, it is very important, ma'am. Ethics helps students to act with integrity in their studies. It stops cheating, lying, or taking unfair shortcuts. It builds trust between teachers, classroom, and society. With ethics, education becomes a journey of truth and goodness. Empathy. What is empathy? What is the meaning of empathy? Empathy means putting yourself in someone else's pulse, in place. It helps us understand how others feel and why they act as they do. It makes us kinder and more patient towards others. The power of empathy and in education. When we learn with empathy, we listen better and judge less. We accept people's difference with understanding.
Yes.
We learn to work together, support others, and build teamwork. Empathy makes our learning environment peaceful and caring.
What is it? I think.
Again, alignments. Alignment means awakening the mind to truth and wisdom. It helps us think deeply about life, knowledge, and values. A truly alignment leader does not follow blindly. He knows what is right, what is wrong. They ask questions, seek understanding, and grow in awareness. Alignment in critical thinking. It is very important in nowadays. Critical thinking and alignments go hand in hand. It means using logic, reason, and open-minded in learning. An alignment leader examines information carefully and before leaving it. Such leaders, learners, the connection between the three values. Without these three, there is no education, there is no society. Ethics, empathy, and alignment are deeply connected. Ethics guides our action, empathy guides our heart, and alignment guides our minds. Together, they shape balanced and critically minded individuals. Without one, the other two lost their true strength. So, without anyone, there is no value. In this connection, what is the importance of the teachers and students? What is the role of the teachers and students? The teachers can model ethics by being fair and honesty in the classroom because all the students are follow the teachers. Students can practice empathy by helping and respecting to each other. Schools should encourage open discussion and critical thinking. Learning should blend both.
Hello, teacher.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Hello, teacher. How are you?
Yes, ma'am. I conclude that ethics gives us direction, empathy gives us connection, and alignment gives us wisdom. So, with these three, we can learn anyone we change our society. It is my opinion, man. Thank you, one and all, for this giving this opportunity. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ambassador uh, uh, Rambabu. Yeah, thank you.
Yes,
Your
ma'am.
message
It
reached.
is my nickname, ma'am. Is
Yes.
my nickname, ma'am.
Okay, so I can use that, right? All right. Thank you very much. Your message reached beyond academic excellence. It touched the soul of education. And you've reminded us that critical thinking without ethics becomes manipulation, and knowledge without empathy, you really emphasized on that empathy becomes destruction. And your philosophical reflection urged educators to cultivate moral intelligence alongside mental sharpness. Thank you very much for that amazing presentation. We appreciate you. And I want to quickly move back to speaker that we called earlier before, Dr. Professor Mohammed Elzek. Please, the floor is yours, sir. We called you earlier, but you weren't on seat.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hi, good afternoon.
Glad to join you. Thank you for the opportunity.
You're welcome.
Yes, I was entitled to talk about transforming educational programs from passive learning to active problem solving. This shift from passive learning to active problem solving is not an easy endeavor, as it requires a revolution at the level of teaching and assessment practices. It's not easy because in many educational systems, students and teachers are accustomed to traditional teaching methods, practices, strategies to the extent that it takes time to develop innovative practices that reinforce problem solving and other higher order thinking skills. So to do so, we need to emphasize learner involvement, autonomous learning, and authentic performance-based activities in our daily practices, as well as in our teaching and assessment policies. This can be realized through the following interconnected suggestions. I will start with the pedagogy. So, as I said, student-centered pedagogy. In this way, there should be a move towards student-driven inquiry and exploration, which means students should act as researchers, should be assigned collaborative learning activities outside the classroom, and get involved in class discussions and projects where they construct their knowledge actively, which means they shouldn't only rely on ChatGPT and AI tools to come up with solutions that may not deeply understand, but they have to be creative and come up with something based on their understanding and their effort. This will allow them, especially if they work in groups, to operate within the zone of proximal development of each other. In addition to other merits like peer feedback, peer tutoring, and so on. To promote problem-solving learning, it is also necessary for teachers to plan lessons around authentic, open-ended problems that mirror real-world challenges while encouraging reflective practices and questioning critically the knowledge students are exposed to and the ones that they search about in the net or using data collection tools to collect data outside the classroom. Students also need hands-on, especially at the early stages of learning, hands-on activities where they exploit what they have learned to solve problems, simple problems within their I+1, within their reach, and to come up with possible solutions to existing, for example, environmental and social problems, starting with their from their local settings and using their own original ideas and solutions. Such practices could extend learning beyond the classroom and reinforce autonomous and collaborative learning, discovery and inquiry-based learning, where students act as researchers. When it comes to classroom assessment, I talked about teaching. Now I move to the assessment. And here, assessment for learning, not just assessment of learning, should be integrated into classrooms as a core practice, which means we have to train students on student-centered and self-directed assessment activities that involve students assessing themselves and assessing their peers' work, reflecting on their progress to provide feedback. This feedback that they need to use to improve their learning. Equally important is to align alternative assessments like portfolios, learning large projects, interviews, to name but a few, with higher order thinking processes like application analysis and creation. My colleagues have already talked about this. Considering, for example, Bloom's taxonomy in planning the level of cognitive demands when designing these activities. To conclude, we are at the age of technology and AI. It's essential to take advantage of technology and active tools to facilitate and enhance the teaching and assessment practices. Thank you so much, and the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Professor Mohammed. Your insight reignited a sense of urgency for educators to dismantle outdated systems that celebrate recall over reasoning. And your vision of classroom as innovation hubs, where students create solutions rather than wait for them, inspired a collective reawakening. Thank you very much for this. We appreciate your presentation. Thank you. And I'm going to be moving on to the next speaker for today, Dr. Mohammed Osama. Dr. Mohammed Osama, the floor is yours.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
A very good morning to all of you. In my silence, there is eloquence. Can you hear it?
No.
In my silence, there is eloquence. Can you hear it? In my absence, there is presence. Can you cheer it? Thank you all. And my question is, bridging science and humanity, the role of critical thinking in sustainable innovation. We have already learned from the intellectuals who have already shown their intelligence here. Now, I'm going to talk about, there are some methods. First, when a teacher enters a classroom, if we have 40 students, are they mentally inside or outside? We should have to think. The critical thinking is also a critical question for a teacher and also the students. If there are 40 students inside the class, survey says, as an educator, during the survey program, we surveyed that among the 40 students, only 34 students are inside mentally, and 36 they are sitting physically, but they are mentally outside. So this is the actual focus. This is the actual scene of the classroom. In front of those students, the teacher is teaching. Once I had been to an inspection with the officials, my authorities. We have 3 authorities, and including me, we have 4. A teacher was teaching a poem. He was sweating and he has already filled the blackboard, and all the students, they were fearful because we were sitting inspecting their guru or the teacher. The teacher taught the whole topic within the 45 minutes, and my authorities, they were very impressed, and they gave him 987 marks. When they asked me, "Oh, Sama, what are you doing?" I gave him 0 mark. So they were astonished. "What are you doing, Osama? He has already taught such and such things. He has elaborated and described all the poems, and the students learned." So I asked one of the students, "How much have you already learned such poem?" He told me the truth that I have learned nothing. And I took a book of the same poem. I asked one of the students to learn a two-lettered word. He was unable to read that word. So this is the system of our classroom. In this platform, I request all the teachers, at first we have to think about the 3 B's. The first B is breathing. We should have to think about the breathing system, whether the classroom is ventilated, whether all the students, they have the clear breathing system. And next one is body. Next B is B for body. And whether the students, all the bodies, they are active or passive. Have you already asked any student that have you taken your breakfast? If not, let us do and fulfill their fooding at first before teaching the students. And the third major point is brain. They are sitting bodily, but their brain is outside. So first we have to take the students inside before teaching. And with the collaboration of science, without science, the humanity can't exist. If we ask any student that what do you do afterwards, he or she must say that we will be like scientists, we will be the engineers and doctors. Not a single student says that we must be a good human being. So here, nowadays, it is the time to become a good human being. And we should have to teach the students to become a good human being at first. And there is a method that is called Socratic method. In this method, we can change the students' mentality very easily. That deepening critical thinking skill, asking open-ended questions that encourage deeper reflection, challenging assumptions and preconceived notions, exploring the implications and consequences of ideas, fostering intellectual curiosity and continuous inquiry. And we have already learned about the 4 C's. The discuss is over: communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and creativity. In daily life, we should have to decide whether to take an umbrella, for example. If we consider the probability of rain versus the inconvenience of carrying an umbrella to make an informed decision, managing our time, making dietary choices, limited social media, and using waiting time productivity, choosing a career path, improving skills, and at home, creating a learning environment. We place educational materials in a central location to encourage a child to learn rather than play all day. Maintaining relationships. We schedule emails to keep in touch with friends even when we are busy, ensuring we maintain those relationships. Saving ideas. We keep an idea journal to record thoughts because we will need them later. Thank you for giving me an opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Osama, for that amazing presentation. Yeah, Dr. Osama's presentation bridged 2 words: the logic of science and the compassion of humanity. And he argued that innovation without reflection can lead to progress without purpose. Dr. Osama, I would like if you can I don't know if it's possible for you to repeat the first word, the first phrase you gave. I didn't really pick it. I wanted to write it down, but I didn't pick everything. So please, if it's
Oh,
possible.
thank you.
Yes.
In my silence, there is eloquence. Can you hear it?
Yes. Okay.
In my silence, there is eloquence. Can you hear it? In my absence, there is presence. Can you cheer it? Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much. That is awesome. In my silence, there is eloquence. Amazing one. Thank you very much. His insight reminded us that the greatest scientific minds were also humanists at heart, guided by ethics and empathy. Thank you very much for that amazing presentation. We appreciate you. And moving on, I'm going to be calling on Ambassador Ahmed Merto to take over the floor. The floor is yours, Ahmed.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. So my topic today is about psychology of conformity, why students struggle to think differently. First of all, we should, I'm going to define conformity in psychology. It refers to the process of adjusting one's behavior, attitude, or belief to match those of a group or social norms. It's a form of social influence. People change how they act or think because of real or imagined pressure from others. The first question that one can make come to his or her mind is why people conform. There are theories or reason behind this. The first theory which talks about this is Ashe's theory, 1951. He explained that people conform because they want to be accepted and liked by others. They follow the group to avoid standing out or being rejected. This theory is also called normative social influence. The second one is Sheriff Theory 1935. It showed that people confirm when they are uncertain and believe others know better than them. Trust the group opinions and adjust their own to match it. This is called informational social influence. The third theory is Killman's theory, 1958. He explained that conformity can be happened on three levels: compliance, changing one's behavior to gain acceptance. Second one, identification, conforming to feel part of a group or to admire by someone or to admire someone. The third one is internalization, truly accepting and believing the group's idea to be right. The fourth one is Milgram's theory, 1963. He focused on obedience to authority. He explained that people confirm because they respect authority figures and believe are right or more knowledgeable. And the last one is social identity theory. This explains that people conform to norms and values of their social groups. So all these theories can be applicable or applied in classrooms or students. To answer this question of why students struggle to think differently, there are many reasons based on this theory, including fear of rejection or judgment, belief that others know better, school system encourage right answers, cultural and social expectations, need to belong to a group for peers, lack of critical thinking practices, and like soft skill and so on. Now, the questions that we should is how to overcome this conformity, how to develop this kind of soft skills. There are many techniques teachers should or can use, include like promote diversity of opinions, accepting different opinions uh, and ideas and perspective, fostering self-confidence. When students, for example, make mistakes, teachers should accept that and encourage them. use problem-based or project-based to enhance collaboration, to critical thinking, encourages reflection of their work, of their progress, even of the teacher. For example, teacher sometimes can administer like a questionnaire for the student to reflect on how the teacher is doing his teaching. A highlight example of innovative thinkers. Teachers can give examples of those who succeed in their life, how they manage, how they overcome these obstacles of being introverted, being passive in the classroom, and so on. Integrate debates, presentation, discussions, assigning roles in different groups, think peer share. This is an activity, think peer share activities, peer teaching, integrating tasks and different from different disciplines to solve all problems. Why do we need such students who think differently? Why do we need these soft skills? We need this to prepare students for the real world, foster learning, autonomy, and lifelong learning, enhance life skills and collaboration. As a conclusion, as educators, it is our responsibility to create classrooms where students feel safe to question, explore, and express their own ideas by encouraging independent, creative thinking to overcome disconformity and be a learners who can take ownership and responsibility of their learners, preparing them to thrive in a complex and ever-changing world. Thank you so much for giving me this chance to participate with you.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Ahmed, for that amazing presentation. Your presentation peeled back the layers of the human mind, exposing how deeply conformity is rooted in our desire for acceptance. Your analysis made us confront an uncomfortable truth that even education, which should liberate the mind, often reinforces sameness. So thank you very much for that amazing presentation. We appreciate you. And I'm going to be calling on our next speaker, Honorable Professor Shano Banji. The floor is yours, ma'am.
Peace greetings to all present here. Please allow me to switch off my camera due to low internet connectivity, but I hope I am audible.
Yes, you are.
I'm Professor C.P. Shano Banji from Tanzania, East Africa. I'm indeed grateful to AWTE Intellectual Exchange Platform's founder and host, Dr. Gloria, and its co-host, Dr. Rania, and to all the moderators, and to all my fellow speakers. Under the theme Critical Thinking or Conformity, the topic provided to me is reimagining global education leadership for independent and impactful learning. By harnessing the power of data and AI, educators can offer tailored recommendations and interventions, transforming experience. Adaptive learning systems and intelligent tutorial platforms represent just a fraction of the tools being developed, offering targeted support and guidance both inside and outside the classroom. Digitalization also promises cost effectiveness and time saving benefits across various education processes, from streamlined administrative tasks to automated grading systems. Technology potentially optimizes educators' time, allowing them to focus on the students and enriching education experiences. Integrating critical thinking into education helps to prepare students to address complex global challenges. Educators therefore need to use different methods associated with critical thinking, such as questioning, discussing, inquiry, and problem based learning and reflection. It's also important for educators to have reliable sources where they can find evidence based methods suitable for the subject area. Assessing students' critical thinking abilities is another challenge for schools to help educators assess any exercise with technical or disciplinary requirements, which includes tests for students to demonstrate their critical thinking skills. The OECD has developed a comprehensive scoring guide framework for assessing critical thinking. I repeat, OECD has developed a comprehensive scoring guide framework for assessing critical thinking. Sustainability education is an ideal way for students to develop critical thinking while growing their sense of responsibility for real life challenges. Students or learners can develop creativity and critical thinking skills that empower them to address real world challenges by emphasizing student centered active learning approaches. Critical thinking prepares learners to evaluate complex issues and identify misleading information such as the deceptive marketing practices and false claims of sustainability known as greenwashing. Through thoughtful analysis and reflection, students, learners can learn to make informed, responsible choices. I would like to conclude by emphasizing that always think about the six questions: what, who, when, where, why, and how. Remember that the nine standards of critical thinking, which are clarity, precision, accuracy, relevance, depth, breadth, logicalness, significance, and fairness. With the time allocated to me being over, I would like to end here. Thank you all for listening to me so attentively. May Almighty God bless us all. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you very much. Thank you, Professor Shanu. Banji's presentation of perspective reminded us that education is not confined by borders, but united by a shared responsibility to build minds capable of shaping a better world. And her call for inclusive, forward-thinking leadership challenged traditional hierarchies and inspired a global consciousness in learning. Thank you very much, ma'am. We appreciate your presentation. And I think we've come to Ambassador Mary. I don't know, she's on transit, so I don't know if she's available to present now. Okay. Okay, I think, all right, thank you everyone for today's presentation. I truly appreciate all your time as you came in here to present. Please, if anyone has anything to chip in, you just have 1 minute to do so. Please unmute your mic and feel free to. And please, if I've not called on you, I think I've called everybody. I think I have. I think I have. Okay. So throughout today's session, we have journeyed through ideas and challenges we've challenged, provoked, and inspired thoughts. From the power of inquiry to the courage of creativity, from emotional intelligence to ethical reflection, our speakers have reminded us that education is far more than a process of instruction. It's an act of transformation. We have been reminded that conformity may produce compliance, but only critical thinking produces change. And change is what the world needs now more than ever. Each of us lives here. Each of us lives here with a responsibility to create learning spaces where curiosity is not punished, where questioning is not rebellion, and where differences is not disobedience. We must rebuild education as a place where learners are expected to think, wonder, and grow. As we close today, let us carry this question home. What kind of learners are we really building? And even more importantly, what kind of educators are we becoming? May today's reflection ignite new commitments in every one of us to teach with purpose, to live with empathy, and to inspire with courage. Thank you once again for coming together today. Together, let us keep building minds and question hearts that understand. Thank you very much, and see you on our next session. We've taken pictures, Dr. Rani, when we were taking pictures, I was calling you. You weren't there I don't know, you were here, but I don't know, maybe you weren't on seat that time when we took pictures. Well, let's just take another one in your presence now. So please, could you all unmute your cameras? Let's take one more picture before we come today. Thank you, everyone. All right, please unmute your cameras, please. Unmute your camera. And we're still going to use our favorite emoji. Please just not unmute your camera. Sorry, I don't know what I'm saying. Please turn on your cameras.
You said this 4 to 5 times.
Unmute your cameras. Sorry about that. I just thought about what I said and realized that I was just saying something. Please, our cameras are still off. Please, can you turn it on, please? Professor Lila. Okay, in absence of that, let's just take the picture like that. All right, so after the count of 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go, everyone. Thank you, everyone, and see you on Friday. See you on Friday. Bye.
All right. See you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.